Hello, my friends, and welcome back. 2 weeks ago, I came to you live from the Bayou. 1 week ago, I came to you from the, while slightly less exotic, no less fun, Northampton. And this week, I come to you from COVID. Yep. Yeah, that's a thing. My nose may be blocked, but my love for this show is not. Was it tenuous? Yes, it was. Do I care? No, not very much. So, we are going to go through all of the ups and downs for Strange New Worlds episode 5, Spock Amok. Before we get into that, I want to thank you so much to everyone who likes, shares, and subscribes. You're helping this channel grow. You're awesome. If you haven't hit subscribe already, smash that button right now. Go on! Let's get straight to the ups and downs. Straight in with an up this week is going to be Gia Sandhu, who plays T'Pring. I just love her interpretation of this character. One of the reasons I love that they've brought T'Pring into Strange New Worlds is because if you go all the way back to Amok time, the original series, second season, T'Pring appears, and quite frankly, she doesn't come across very well. Perhaps that is because our sympathies are, of course, with Spock in that episode. What we see is Spock gets really horny. He goes home for marriage, and she's like, actually, I'm gonna pass on that one, cause yeah, no. Obviously, time has changed, and the world decided, hey, wouldn't it be nice if T'Pring was a bit of a rounder character? And that's what we're getting. She brings so much, ironically, humanity to the part that we actually have a character in T'Pring as opposed to a plot device, which is what T'Pring really was back in the original series. I loved her so much in this, and we've seen her in the pilot already, and judging by casting notes, it seems that we're going to get more of her as well, which I am delighted about. I have lots to gush over, but I just wanted it all on, just an up on her own, Gia Sandhu as T'Pring. However, the episode basically opens on, we get this wonderful dream where Spock is fighting his human half. It's a little bit evocative of the enemy within, you know, Kirk is split into two. This is kind of like Spock being split into two, his good half and his evil half. We get a very human performance from Ethan Peck as human Spock, and we get a very Vulcan performance from Ethan Peck as Vulcan Spock. I loved this scene. I thought it was really good. He wakes up having had human ears, God forbid, in his dream, and he goes to the mirror and down. I am so sorry. I say this with love. Those are some of the fakest Vulcan ears I've ever seen. It's because the shot is from behind. Whatever way the makeup sits in it or whatever way the lighting sits in it, oh, they do look like costume ears. They kind of look like the kind of stuff where you're going to sit it just over the ear and you're like, hey, I've gone to a costume shop and look, I'm a Vulcan now. Does it sound like I'm being really harsh? Maybe. No, I'm doubling down on this one. This is getting our very first Trillium down of the series. That's how much I didn't like these ears. It's so bad that it gets an extra from me. That's me completely failing English for a second. The complete polar opposite from our Latinum up. And also Trillium, not good for Vulcans, so did not work for me this week, the ears, because it took me right out of the episode. I was just like, oh, that's a costume. That being said, another up is going to Jess Bush. Thank you for finally giving us Nurse Christine Chapel. With love and respect to Majel Barrett, for me, Majel Barrett's character, her essential character, is Lwaxana Troi. Obviously, computer voice, yes, of course. And let's not forget the original #1. And of course, yes, she originated the role of Christine Chapel. But for me, Lwaxana Troi is Majel Barrett. That for me is so. I have no massive issue in Christine Chapel being recast, especially when it's done so well. Jess Bush was this close to being my MVP of this episode. She's been very good in each of the episodes up until now, but she really gets to stretch her acting chops in this one. She is both powerful, funny, in a way she's romantic, even though technically she's involved in some of the anti-romance of the episode. She has a wonderful friendship with Spock in this episode, which of course is teased into becoming something more by the end, which tracks of course with what we know about the character from history. There is an ease between the two, which is absolute props to Jess Bush and Ethan Peck as well. I have to say, I just loved every moment of the episode that she was in. How she sticks up for Spock when she and T'Pring go to visit the emotional Vulcan. She is honest about what she wants from a relationship with Lieutenant Deaver. I mean, she's absolutely straight up with him about it. She kind of excuses herself from a situation that she had been honest she didn't want to be in. She goes over to Spock. Spock needed the help, and well, quite frankly, although she might have been using it as an excuse, he did need the help, and away she went. She's perfect. I've said it. There we go. Assimilate her right now. She is perfection in this series. Rapid up has to go to Una and La'an's big day of fun. Oh my god, I love their interpretation of shore leave. And Benga's gone fly fishing, Nurse Chapel is off having fun on Starbase 1, Spock and T'Pring have their own thing going on, Pike unfortunately doesn't get any shore leave because the Rongovians, them have arrived and negotiations have started early, so you have La'an and Una walking around. First of all, now yes, we're very duty conscious and everything. Benga says on the transporter pod, I know where the nickname comes from. What nickname? You know what, I don't know what I'm saying. By the way, that line gets an up. Ah, perfect description. Where fun goes to die. And it's like, there's nothing wrong with wanting duty to be part of fun, as long as you bring the fun into it. And so the two of them go around just having a good time. They play Enterprise bingo. The moment where they're just about to interrogate the two ensigns, and then just really, really quickly the Anne goes, bad cop. I'm like, oh, damn it. Oh, just fantastic. Christina Chong and Rebecca Romaine are a perfect double team in this episode. And I mean, so many laughs all the way throughout, culminating with them standing on the saucer section of the Enterprise. This is not something, of course, that we see very often. You know, you get that scene particularly from the 4K remaster of the motion picture. Cheeky plug, go check out our ups and downs for that. And then, of course, there is the scene of people standing on the saucer section of the Enterprise D in Star Trek Generations, which, of course, doesn't immediately get followed by a shockwave. Oops, spoiler. It's just fun. And signing the deck plate as well. I like that. I liked it a lot. So yeah, just Una and La'an's big day of fun. Absolutely gas this week. Absolutely gas. It's just Spock and T'Pring. Gina Sand, who got her own up at the start of this because of how much she was great in this episode, but Spock and T'Pring's hijinks. This is getting dangerously close to hijinks. Oh my god, this is an up. Like, some Star Trek has done this before slightly, particularly Cathixis in Voyager, where we had Chakotay was, you know, disembodied and floating around the crew, as you do. But this is done purely for comedy. The two of them don't understand each other, so they undergo a ritual which effectively swaps their Katras. Now, it's supposed to be for a very short time, and you know, unfortunately, it's not so short a time. Suddenly you have T'Pring in Spock's body, and then you have Spock in T'Pring's body, both of whom are quite suddenly handed very important tasks to do. The reveal to Captain Pike as to the fact that they're in different bodies, and do you know what? You probably saw this one coming. Latinum up. This is my Latinum up of the week, this storyline. And in fact, in this storyline comes another up, which is, now that you can tell the difference, you can see the clear difference in our mannerisms. This is too funny. This is too funny. You're taking, the good thing that you're doing about a Vulcan is that a Vulcan is like a clown. Why is a clown funny? A clown is funny not because they fail, but because they're trying to succeed. And that's what we get here. They are trying so hard to be serious that they are hilarious. And it works so well. And of course, they get a deeper understanding of each other, T'Pring and Spock. T'Pring punches someone who disrespects half human. Spock, via T'Pring's body, punches someone who is anti-human, quite racist, in fact. And then, of course, you have T'Pring and Spock's body during the negotiations with the Rongovians. You know, initially it looks like T'Pring's got to maybe do a bit of a bait and switch about, like, you know, oh, well, here's why I don't like it, but actually, here's why I do like Starfleet. And then we sort of don't get the here's why I do like Starfleet bit, and so Pike steps in. In fact, Pike's intervention is getting an up. Yeah, I'm going mad with the ups this week. Not quite as mad as the pilot. But yeah, I'm still going mad with the ups this week. Everything about this episode worked for me. When Spock and T'Pring are eventually brought back into their respectively correct bodies, there is a deeper understanding. Now, if Strange New Worlds decides to stick, rigidly to canon, then yes, unfortunately, they may not have a long future together, but based on this episode alone, I wish them many happy years because they are hilarious as a comedy duo. They work so well as a couple, and there but for the grace of Chapel, I would wish them many, many, many happy times, but also that kind of the look that Chapel has at the end about Spock. Oh, gushing all over, so I am. The worst assignment you can be given is to be assigned to mean Chief Kyle? Transporter Twink is mean? Up? There was one thing, actually, about the Enterprise bingo that stood out for me, and it's when La'an and Number One are in the medical bay, and they do that thing where La'an chews gum until this flavour is gone, and then Una beams her back in again, and then the flavour has come back, and it's very, very funny. Down, has this show completely forgotten about the fact that Mbenga's daughter is sitting in that transporter? Like, specifically that one. So she's in that pattern buffer. Now, that's not to say that's the only one that could be there, but hi, I'm on shore leave. I'm going to leave my daughter in the pattern buffer and go fishing. The thing that's a down about this for me is just, we made such a stop and pay attention moment of the fact his daughter was in the transporter a couple of episodes ago. We have not mentioned it since. Not saying he's not allowed a holiday. Of course he's allowed a holiday. But would you mention the fact your daughter's in there? And if going through the medical transporter is part of Enterprise bingo, is she a lot further along than we actually think she is? I am legit. Could somebody please find out the details of how Mbenga's daughter actually is? And also, Una, you know she's in that transporter. What are you doing? What is going on here? I mean, I don't know. I don't know. Oh, hang on. I'm getting a message. Right, we're gonna go live. We're gonna go live to Canon Watch. Thank you very much for that introduction, Sean. On Canon Watch this week, we see that Adrian Holmes has returned as Admiral Robert April. This makes his second appearance in live action, making him the definitive Robert April. That is correct, Adrian Holmes has now appeared more times than James Doohan's Robert April did in 1973's The Animated Series. So, that is now conclusive evidence that Adrian Holmes is the definitive Robert April. And on that same topic, Gia Sandhu's T'Pring is now the definitive T'Pring, having appeared twice as opposed to once in the original series. So, for Canon Watch this week, we say thank you very much to the definitive April and the definitive T'Pring. Back now to the ups and downs. Well, thank you very much for that wonderful, illuminating Canon Watch this week. Now, let's grab our fins and head on over to Cetacean Observations. Now, as I'm sure you can understand, this one, there's quite a few eggs for us to notice. We have, of course, the shout out to Caliphie, which is ritual combat in the opening scene. Okay, I was told to time this. Dun, 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 dun. Go check it out on one of the music streaming ones. That music is unreal and we don't want to get slapped with a copyright claim. Now we have Spock's lute and thing with the bells is on the wall in his quarters as well. Pike's green wraparound top. Taken up. I would be wearing it for this, except Chris would kill me. Now, we have the Rongovian's solar sailor ship as well. Now, while it is an original design, for me that feels very evocative of the Bajoran solar sailor ship from the DS9 episode Explorers, and of course Ascension as well. La'an mentions Christmas in this episode. Boom! This is a Christmas episode of Star Trek. I'm just saying it. Because there are so few references to Christmas in all of Star Trek, this is now a Christmas episode. That's it. We get a reveal, of course, of the TOS phasers, the Strange New Worlds phasers, which I think looked like a hybrid of the TOS phaser and the Star Trek 3 phaser, which I absolutely love and I really wish made much more of an appearance in Star Trek. Spock, of course, talks about his pet Setlac, which was first shown in the animated series. And then, of course, we got a live action one in Enterprise as well. And I just love that little bit of continuity. Very, very nice. Catra, hello. They slightly redesigned the Bolian with that ensign, and I'm cool with that. I like the color palette, it works really well for me. Then, of course, you have this extremist emotional Vulcan, which to me is both a reference to Enterprise, you know, when we see the kind of the forced mind meld, not so much fun, and then later on TNG's Gambit, where you have Robin Curtis's emotional Vulcan who's hunting the Stone of Gaul, which I just think is very, very nice. And you know what? This is not so much an Easter egg in the Cetacean Observations as it is just an observation I'm making myself. Is that like the longest cold open we've ever done? That's like 14 minutes. Like, I kind of thought I'd missed the opening credits at one point. That is everything for our episode this week. If you agree with everything we said, let us know in the comments below. If you disagree with everything we said, let us know in the comments below. And if you think I missed anything, let me know in the comments below. You are all awesome and wonderful. Now, remember, you can catch us over on Twitter at Trek Culture. You can catch me at Sean Ferrick on Twitter and Instagram and TikTok as well. Just to address a slight query, we've been asked if we're going to do ups and downs for Obi-Wan. We are not going to do ups and downs for Obi-Wan, I'm afraid. But let me just take this opportunity to say, with all of my heart, that we at Trek Culture stand behind Moses Ingram. Thank you so much to everyone who watches. Please don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. You know the spiel. You subscribe. You seriously help us. We love you so much. Everyone, take care of yourselves. Look after yourselves. Be kind to yourselves. To our friends in Ukraine, as always, we love you. Stay safe. Everyone, I will see you soon. Thank you so much. Have a wonderful day. Make it so.